Hey team, happy Saturday. I know, you haven't heard me say that in a while. This month has been a little bit crazy. I was on vacation in Scotland and Ireland for like almost 2 weeks, and then I was catching up on work, visiting family. And so there just hasn't been a lot of time for really any kind of extra stuff. And I'm also a bit dulled up today because I'm going to the TFC game later on today, and then also a friend's birthday. So things just keep on piling up. And with everything else, it is also Easter next week. And so because I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of time next week to do much baking, figured since the game's not till 7:30, I would take this lovely Saturday afternoon and bake some of my absolute favorite Easter cookies for you today. Now, as you guys know, I really don't have much of a sweet tooth, but these Anisette Easter cookies that I'm gonna be making are just melt in your mouth, absolutely delicious, and I am not kidding you, I could crush a whole plate. When my mom, my dia, or my nonna used to make them, like when I tell you, I was a grazer over that plate. And it was just too easy to eat. I couldn't even count. Now, the thing with anisette cookies is that when people hear anisette or anise, they think black licorice and that really ugly flavor. But what the anise does in this is just, it gives it just such a nice, subtle flavor. And it's not strong or pungent at all. So it actually just complements the cookie so well. Now, I had to go to 3 stores to find this star anise extract. But I also found out that you could make your own at home. So I'll be doing another video on how to do that. Although silver lining, on my way home from that 3rd grocery store visit that I went to, I stumbled upon this new store called High Notes, and it's a coffee and vinyl shop. And I found in one of their value bins Simon & Garfunkel's Greatest Hits. So this is going to be the soundtrack for baking today. When I tell you that this was one of the albums I was raised on, I knew all of the words to Mrs. Robinson when I was like 7. So, cuckoo High Notes, well done. So starting off this recipe, we've got a cup of sugar, some salt, 2 teaspoons of the star anise, 6 eggs. This recipe is going to make quite a lot. And instead of butter, we're putting in a whole pound of Crisco. Trust me, they turn out delicious, and this is what gives them that delicious melt in your mouth texture. I promise they are so good. To the wet mixture, we are going to add 6 cups of flour that I've mixed together with 6 teaspoons of baking powder. Like I said, this makes quite a lot of cookies, so you can definitely half the recipe if you don't think you're gonna need that many. But I'm planning on freezing a whole bunch of them so I can save them for later. Now the last thing we're gonna add to the dough is about a cup of whipping cream. Now look, I never said that these cookies were good for you. I just said that they were good. So really, what's better than like fat and cream in cookies? I can't think of anything else. And so then after that's all mixed together, we're going to actually roll it out by hand onto my lovely silicone rolling sheet, which my mom recently got me, and it's amazing. And so the dough is still going to be a little bit sticky after we mix it really well together, but that's okay because we're going to be able to roll it out individually after that. So we've got our dough all rolled out, and like I said, it made quite a big portion of dough. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to pinch off and we're going to roll balls about this size or so, so about an inch, inch and a half. They will spread a little bit in the oven, so you don't need to make them too big. Or the kind of 2 shapes that you can go with are sort of like an oblong oval shape, kind of like that. So we're going to put these on our parchment papered trays, and we're going to bake them in the oven for about 12 minutes or so at 350. Now when they come out, they will still be quite light, but that's okay because that's just how these babies bake up. So the first couple of trays are out of the oven and they look and smell awesome. And I know you're thinking, Elisa, those don't look very Eastery. Well, while the next batch is baking, we're gonna work on the icing topping. So for the icing that's gonna go on top of the cookies, we've got about a half a tablespoon or so of melted butter and about a cup of icing sugar. And we are just going to add milk little by little, whisking it in until we have a nice smooth consistency. And now for the fun part. So similarly to how you would color eggs in, different bowls using different colored dyes, I've separated the icing into 4 different ramekins, and I'm gonna add 1 or 2 drops of food coloring to each one to make some lovely, nice, springy Easter pastel colors that we're going to put onto our cookies. So you want to make sure that your cookies are completely cool before you dip them into the icing. Otherwise, your icing is just going to melt and run off. But now that we have little ramekins like this, we'll just give it a nice little dip. It's hard to see the yellow one on the camera. Here, let me do it better. I'll show you guys when it's done, but I'm so excited how these are turning out. Look at how cute they are! Okay, I can't lie, learnings for next time. Make sure that the icing sugar is like extra whisked, because otherwise you're gonna get these little chunkies. But otherwise, I think they look very, very cute. But, taste test. I'm gonna have yellow. Turned out really good. I might not even share these ones. Haven't decided yet. Have a good weekend.